Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Season 3 of the BSGCS semi-final matchup. The last one to come through between AOL Phoenix and ESG GENSIS. Joining me tonight on the broadcast is none other than...
It's me, Gimpy the First, jungler for Conquer Academy. I'm really excited for tonight. I think it's going to be a really cool matchup, and maybe we'll see some spicy plays coming out of it.
100%. Walking into this matchup here, who do you think's the favorites? ESG Genesis getting in through Smurf Nation. AOL Phoenix also getting a redemption card into the grand finals.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I was talking to you before, I think it's going to be pretty close. If AOL continues to play at the level that they were playing at before, well, then I think ESG has a pretty good chance of winning. I mean, AOL was, they were against Smurf Nation, whatever, but they just didn't play as well as I've seen them play in the past. ESG's beat them before, so honestly, this could go either way, and I am so excited to see it because I think it's going to be a fantastic matchup.
I've got to agree with you on this one, Gimpy. Yes, right now, we all kind of know the memes with AOL. They win when they have their starting five. They lose when they have in subs. And right now, they have in Uigui in the support role and Bluedit in the mid lane. How do we think that's going to impact things?
Yeah, I mean, Nezumi is definitely a big part of what makes AOL so strong. Having that person who can carry from the bot lane, not to say that the ADC to Live is to Smile is bad, but Nezumi definitely sets him up for a lot of different things. So I think it's going to be a bit different there. I believe Uigui was Sarah Brown, who I think used to play support, did he not?
Correct.
Yeah, so I don't think it's going to be like a detrimental change, but I do think that maybe I don't think AOL's lost a game with Nezumi. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure all of their losses Nezumi has not been there. So I mean, other than the past semifinals game. So I look forward to it. It's definitely going to make it a little bit more interesting. And Blue Edit in the mid lane, good coach. I don't know about so much a good player.
We'll have to find out. And while we're out in the mid lane and important players being missing, Kopek is MIA, unfortunately, for ESG Genesis, and they are whipping out their Season 1 substitute player, Sivian. Do you think that he'll be able to match the pressure of a semi-final matchup, or is he going to crack under it?
Honestly, I've never seen Sivian play, so I can't give a really great answer for that. But just looking at his ranked, Silver 5, I don't know about that. That's how I feel. Like I said, though, Blue Edit, definitely not the strongest mid laner. So I think that'll make it probably a little bit better for Sivian, but we'll see how it goes. I honestly, the matchup that I'm most looking forward to is in the top lane. Fridge has been known as to sort of just take this pressure and just take it for his team. And Sievert exerts a lot of pressure. So I think having this sort of literal fridge in the top lane where he can just take all the hot spicy food that Sievert's thrown at him and cool it down in his fridge. I don't know. I think it's a good matchup, and I think that's where we're going to see a lot of the important things that sort of make the game and shape the game happen.
Very, very solid analysis. I do agree with you. Top lane will be pretty important. ESG notably were able to pick up a lot of solid victories and recover in the mid to late season with Malphite, Fiddlesticks, and Kaisa being their comps, that of which they could work out here. Other than that, they did have some other recipes, but nothing really to as great success. Do you think if ESG doesn't get their hands on that combo, that it's lights out?
Sorry, the combo was one more time.
Malphite, Fiddle, and Kaisa.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I think that, those are really strong things that they've had success with, but it doesn't mean that they won't have success with other things. And I think Ozzy's a really smart guy, and he knows what a team can or can't do. So even if the draft doesn't go exactly the way he wanted, I know he's always going to have a backup plan, right? So yes, they're important. Are they impossible to win without? Not at all.
Fair indeed. We're going to hop right into Champions Select with that said and done. First ban to come through will be Darius. And that's one ban so far towards Sievert. How many more do you think we'll say?
It depends. I think if Sievert gets his pick in the first lineup, I'm going to say 2. If not 2 more, 2 total. If Sievert doesn't get his ban, like doesn't pick in the first 3, then he's probably going to get 4 bans sent his way.
Alright, definitely seems to be the case here with the Graves ban coming through away from Sonic Abs. I found that a little interesting with Jarvan and Trundle being more notable on his list, but nonetheless, that is what ESG do not want to see whatsoever.
I think a big part of that is that Trundle, with the recent nerfs to him, is not as easy to be strong on. Basically, you have to build a little bit of damage at least, and in doing that, you become a really much squishier target, and it's just sort of harder to really get out the damage that you need to do, even if you're trying to get damage, because you just get blown up right away. So I think it's a little bit harder to use, so maybe they're banking on that he won't be using Trundle, but I don't know. Yeah, that's interesting.
A couple of unique bans to come through away from AOL Phoenix here. Meanwhile, they are also letting ESG appear to have their strategy that they may be going for. We might see a first pick Malphite here, or will we see something else, Gimpy?
I think it'll be something else. I don't think they're going to pull that strat out. I think it's... I mean, I don't want to say anything because I feel like I'm going to regret it here, but I feel like it's just not... See, that's what I was thinking maybe. I was thinking if that's why they're going to let the Trundle go through is because they want to pick it. Sievert here picking up the Gangplank. I don't know. I think it was Dota's Demons that he played Gangplank against last.
Yes.
And he had a 10k gold lead over his laner at some point in the game. So definitely going to be... I don't know. His Gangplank's pretty good, and if the enemy team wants to let the game scale, which I think they want to do if they're going to pick a Kai'Sa, then that's going to be a bit of a scary Gangplank.
Yeah, and Sievert, we mentioned that did his Demons performance. That was one of the most lopsided games we've had in a while. Sievert playing a huge role into that as well. So hopefully for Fridge, whatever he picks, can survive against Gangplank in the top lane.
Yeah, exactly. I think that maybe... I don't know. That's still, the Graves ban is a little weird to me. Because I feel like while Graves is definitely still strong, like, why wouldn't they just ban the Jarvan? That's what I'm wondering.
And especially how AOL can pick it right here and would work very well with their comp. And there we go.
Like, the Graves, first of all, Graves itself is an incredibly hard champion to play really well. So... just like, if you're gonna, I don't think I've ever want to ban it really in a BSG league. It just, no one's gonna play it to its best extent, and they're just like, it's like having almost another ADC on the team, because except that person has to get up close and personal, and unless they get a huge lead in the beginning of the game, they're not gonna go anywhere.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully this one, or for ESG at least, this won't be haunting them too much. They are, according to your projections, going to opt at least one more ban towards Sievert, with the Jhin ban being on the board here.
You think that's towards Sievert?
No, I don't think that's towards Sievert. So that is a Smile, which is also what the Swain ban is towards.
Yeah, exactly.
Smile being one of the only Swain players in the league, so solid ban against him, and now they're going down the other caster-esque marksman.
I'd be interested to maybe see a big old tanky on Fridge. I know he loves his tanks, and I think it'd be really cool to see one in the top lane for him just after these recent buffs. That Xayah ban is interesting, especially after Rakan had already been banned by the enemy team. Like, maybe it's just me, but I feel like Xayah, while is okay, like, is only really, really good when you have a Rakan as well.
Bit of
I
a
mean,
fun strategy, but as mentioned earlier, it
there's the
looks
Malphite.
like a lot of the board is indeed being open. The Malphite gets through, and so does a
Wait,
caster ADC for a smile.
could this maybe be the patent pending Mumu top lane, Malphite mid lane?
No.
No, you say?
No, I don't think so. I
No,
think,
I don't think it is either. Yeah.
yeah. All right, there we go. That's a much more normal pickup. I mean, worried a little bit there, ESG are locking in Lissandra instead. Much, much better as opposed to whatever that might have been.
Now, do you think maybe they'll be putting this brand in the mid lane?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not just because of the hover, but
Yeah.
because there is a record of Uigui playing Brand and strictly Brand in the support role.
Okay.
So there we go.
Yeah, fair enough. So, look at these team comps. What are we thinking?
I like what ESG have on the board. They have they have a lot of strong area effect. They have to survive the laning phase, not get down 10,000 gold from a top lane deficit. But if they can get to the team fighting, I think that will be able to match AOLs.
Mm-hmm.
They have good pick potential with Lissandra Ultimate and Nami, along with Kaisa. When we get to that stage of the game, looking at AOL's comp, I think it's really good. But I think it also, once again, it needs to get past laning phase, because if we see any of these big carries down, if we see the Gangplank, if we see the Jarvan not being able to get where he needs to get to, if we see Syndra not get a big advantage in the laning phase, then things will definitely take a lot more time than they need to for AOL.
Yeah. The one thing that worries me about AOL's comp is Sonic Abs has a history of going like a warrior, mostly AD Jarvan. And if he does that in this comp, his team is going to have 0 tanks. And not that that's always an issue, but into a team with a Malphite and a Lissandra, and even like a Nami, where you can sort of just like get a good old Malphite, like boom them up in the air, hit 3 of them. They're all squishy, and then they all just die. So I don't know. It is a bit worrying. I think maybe they got to watch out for those Wombos, that's for sure. But they do have an Ezreal, and the Jarvan synergy with the Gangplank and the Brand is really good.
Yes, that is a lot of AoE on the side of AOL Phoenix. That has to be respected. Every single one of their champions deals a notable amount of AoE damage, if not a spectacular amount. So it's going to be a battle of which one of these teams has the better AoE. And going off of champion number, we'd say AOL, but is it possibly ESG with the stronger area of effect in Malphite Lissandra, or is that there's nothing topping AOL's comp?
Yeah, honestly, these comps make me excited because I think we're going to see some like really big team fights. The one thing I would say is even if they have some regrets from the ban phase here, the advantage of having a best of 3 is that you can take the knowledge from their first game and apply it to the next ban phase, right? They can say, hey, I don't think we need to worry about Graves. Let's ban Jarvan this time.
All right. Yeah, definitely the case. Ideally, though, you can walk away with not having to worry about that
Yeah,
transition
for sure.
and move on to the next game and not be down 1, forcing yourself to then reverse sweep. But either way, these are the cards that ESG have laid for themselves out on the table. Looking at the junglers between Sonic Abs, you mentioned how he has a history of going warrior, going for early ganks, that kind of deal. Where do we think he's going to target ESG?
Well, I don't know. A lot of their they have Syndra, Gangplank, and Brand are very immobile champions. There's an Ezreal in the bot lane, so obviously he doesn't count in that sense. But I would say honestly, any of those lanes will be good. Honestly, I think Gangplank would be best, but knowing Sievert, he's not going to be playing in a position that lets himself get ganked, right? Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough job for Trundle, and maybe focus, or excuse me, the most around mid. Although Sivian did take TP, whereas Syndra took Ignite. So Syndra is definitely going to have a bit more pressure in that lane. I'm not even going to say especially post 6, because Lissandra could ult herself. But yeah, it is going to be an interesting matchup for every lane. I think the strongest lanes I think the Ezreal brand lane is going to be really tough for Kaisa to deal with, but picking the Nami here gives her a lot of heal potential. So I don't know. Like, I feel like every lane is just sort of set up to sort of cruise through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. It's very much along the nature of there's no, damn, this lane is going to absolutely demolish the other. It's actually very evened out.
Yeah, the one thing that does worry me here is Trundle being a fairly early game jungler means he will fall off later. And honestly, without a ton of hard CC on the on the side of ESG, there is a decent amount. There's the Malphite ult, Lissandra snare and ult, and the Nami knock up and wave. But first of all, that's three of those are ultimate abilities, right? So that's, if you're not counting those, then you have a snare and a knockup. So there's not a lot of CC, which for BSG I think is very important.
All right, very fair. Once again, we will see if that lack of press the button CC in the early stages of the match will haunt ESG or not. Let's talk about the mid lane matchup a little bit more here between Lissandra and Syndra. How does that really play out?
That's a good question. I haven't played a lot of Lissandra, and I've only played a little bit of Syndra. So I don't know the exact details, but I would say that basically, like, they both have Comet here, so it looks like they're just going to be poking each other until they can all in. So whoever lands the most poke, basically, I would say is probably going to be winning that lane.
All right. Short, lowly, but surely we will be right into it. Sonic Abs' toaster is now rejuvenating itself, and we'll be hopping onto the rift any moment now. At least I believe so.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. Dun dun dun. Right. Cue the German music. I jinxed it. I'll take the full blame for this.
Fridge. Spectate game. All right. We're getting back into the game here. And I think we have a message from somebody.
So I do believe we do as well. While we're at this minor intermission, thank you very much, Dota, for another monthly subscription to Duo Esports. Your continuous support is what keeps us going.
I believe he also sent a bit of a message with it where he said, Warhood is a dirty little poop head.
Well, I'm not sure if we can confirm or deny that message, so for the meantime, we shall leave it as mysterious and keep it at that. Just
Are
a
you guys in the
message.
game?
I'm trying to get it.
All right. Looks like we're just waiting for everybody to load in, and then we'll sync up our time. I am in.
I am not in. I shall be in soon.
Yeah, I'll get to 10. I'll get to 10. Cool.
Gotcha.
Cool.
All right. I know I'm actually in right now. Let's start. Do the count. 48, 49, 50, 51.
Well, pause it.
Pause it. Oh, well, all right.
What are you at?
56. Small
I'm
indie
ready to
company.
go.
Gotcha. All right, as am I. So on the count of 3, 2. Oh, wait. Yikes.
I'm in it's here at 56, waiting for Mr. You know you can skip ahead, right? Ah, my apologies, my good friends.
It's probably coming off rather.
All right.
All right, beautiful. We've did it, and we've successfully coordinated a retime. We did a Gimpy.
We did it. We have arrived.
we have arrived. The orders of the mysterious cameraman have been heard from us and us only, and we have, to the best of our abilities, followed them.
Yes. I want to point out in the bot lane there are two stopwatches by the Ezreal and the Brand, which is kind of interesting to me, honestly. Like, they are not the lane that I feel like would be getting pressured here. And I don't know why you would go the stopwatch on the Ezreal. GA is not something that's like a must build. So having the stopwatch is kind of, I would say, almost a little detrimental compared to other runes you could be taking.
Well, here's the thing. I do agree with you, but early on, in these trades, I think stopwatch will play a very big role into how it will go. Now, will
Oh,
I think it'll be
100%.
used early on? I could see it definitely, but being able to go golden for your entire bot lane, I think, will be definitely an A+ on the side of AOL.
Yeah, it looks like mid lane was, as I predicted, just a huge poke fest. So right now, yep, they're just poking each other over and over again, clearing, getting some farm. Looks like Lissandra's got a bit of a farm lead, but maybe Syndra will pick this up.
And the bubble lands onto Smile in the bottom. In fact, a lot of damage. The tick not going to be enough to take him out, but a very good trade on the side of ESG GENSIS.
Yeah, that was an exhaust for a heal, which I think is a really good trade, because the exhaust is going to be back up sooner, and the heal is definitely more impactful in these 2v2 fights.
Absolutely the case here. Mid lane is constantly, as you mentioned already, a bit of a poke fest, but eventually someone's going to run out of mana and miss enough skill shots. Who do we think that's going to be so far?
I mean, they're both about even on mana here, and looking at what Lissandra has taken, item-wise, she's taken the corrupting pot, rather. Oh.
Uh-oh, up in the top lane, Sievert's in trouble. Can he get out of this one? The flash, Sonic's here, first blood, goes over to ESG, and a trade kill return right back by IOL.
So that's 2 flashes down there just for the one on the Trundle, and he got the first blood. I think overall that's definitely a better trade for ESG.
Uh-oh, Nami is also in trouble. Back and forth action between these two teams so far.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Now mid lane looking real spicy. Ignite on Lissandra. Fire beats ice, and Sivian's going to be going down right afterwards. Now in the bottom lane, Orenblade flashing forward, looking for the kill. The bubble onto Brand. Can they pop him in time? No, they can't, because that's another flash blowing that ESG have just got.
Yeah, I mean, they do have to be careful here. Brand still has Ignite, so they must be careful in this lane, because if they get hit by a Brand stun, they're pretty much dead. I would think.
It looks like it's calmed down, but definitely something to be wary of. And this Nami Kai'Sa lane being much more explosive than either of us thought.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, Kai'Sa definitely doesn't have the weakest laning phase, which is kind of the funny part of her, is because she's supposed to be this late scaling beast, but her level 2 and level 3 spike is actually pretty good. So it is interesting, though, because Nami is not someone I would consider like a lane bully. However, she can put in some good work, and she's getting good knockups. So it definitely makes the lane easier for Kai'Sa. Now, also, in our mid lane here, Lissandra did die, but because she has TP, she was able to keep up a farm lead. So overall, the gold difference is not as huge as you would think.
Fortunately for Sivian, that is 100% the case, with the farm advantage, and the kill kind of neutralizes itself there as both mid laners sit very close to each other in gold.
Yeah, and some good warding out by, I think it was the Syndra there in the mid lane that had that pink ward over there. And it's going to spot out the Trundle and stop him from ganking her, which is nice.
Now, the lane that isn't been as fortunate with this appears to be top lane, albeit looks like a little bit of trouble onto Rupture. Support's not landing their skill shots today, but it is still the fish in the barrel. Uigui picks himself his first.
You really have to be careful when you're getting those wards out. My support will always tell me when he's going to get wards out, and he'll ask for us to try and keep some pressure. And they didn't have the pressure in bot lane really to be doing that, and they did just see Jarvan mid. So I think that was just a really bad decision there, and maybe Uegui wasn't thinking. And this is the price of no Nazumi, right? Or sorry, no, this is the wrong team.
Oh boy, a lot of trouble on towards Blade. The GP ult. Seaver hits level 6. Anyway, with a beautifully coordinated usage of cross-map play. And that is now another kill, suddenly this time on Blade. ESG trying to bounce back on this one though. Sonic goes in and gets frozen tombed. Fridge is gonna get a 2-man ulti and 2 more kills on the board for ESG.
Yeah, you saw Trundle pinging that, and Sivian he made the bait a fresh, juicy worm for the enemy team. He said, "Come and get me. I'll take your first hits, then I'll ult, and then you'll die." It looks like they want to get the Drake off this, which I think is a good call with the jungler down and the bot lane of AOL backing. However,
absolutely the case here, and I was about to highlight the deficit that top lane was going through with the 28 to 55 CS differential in Sievert's favor, but Fridge doing his best to recover from that, even out of laning phase, picks himself up the double kill.
Yeah, the one thing here is that definitely Sievert's going to get a lot of poke on this tower because Fridge doesn't have TP. So it's going to be hard for Fridge to hold that tower much longer, I think. Now, there's not a huge... Ooh, that was a really good dodge.
We may not be done just yet. Sonic, not going to go any further without his team having the Cataclysm available to him, and Blade, bit of a misposition, but does not die for it.
Yeah, I mean, red team's got, like, I see 3 pinks on the board, and they've got them spread out along the mid line, basically, so it's going to be kind of hard for Trundle to be making ganks. Honestly, in any lane, other than maybe through lane ganks, top or bottom.
Oh boy, that is a dead fish to come through Rupture.
Oh!
Very low, but dodges the true shot to boot. Snami somehow surviving that.
Wow. I mean, that's definitely the potential of a Jarvan. He locks you up, but luckily Nami had her flash back up, and she was able to flash right out.
Very, very dangerous stuff coming through out of Rupture there. Man to just barely survive. Feel if AOL were a little bit more patient, they would have secured that kill and maybe a little bit more on towards the bottom half of the map, but very good escape.
Yeah, and Sivian's still getting some good poke in the mid lane, so honestly, it's looking pretty good for ESG. They were down 4-1, but now they're just sort of getting stuff back. They're getting back into the mojo. They got the Ocean Drake, which will really help them in the laning phase, and they got it at about 7 minutes, which is pretty early. Ocean Drake's definitely one of the stronger early Drakes. So we'll see what potential this gives them in just being able to sustain and hang out in lane forever.
Well, Bluto going for the flash play. It may go against him here as 3 members of ESG are in the mid lane, and there's a kill over to Sivian.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for laughing, but why? Why? Like, I don't understand what the point of that flash was there. If he was going to ult, he should have done it right away, but he just decided to sort of flash, get his E off, and then sort of freak out and back away. I don't know.
I almost want to call it a misclick because that flash was so awkward. It didn't really make sense in, I don't think, any situation a flash there to be your opener. So I'm gonna give him benefit of the doubt here, but
say fat fingered it.
Fat fingered it. All right, that's what he did. And also, well, we're on it with fat finger.
Yeah, so that might be a bit much for this point in the game. You guys aren't that far ahead. You can't just wave them from 10 feet away and still kill them. However, we should point out that ESG did get the kill mid and immediately rotate and pick up that Rift Herald. They lost the top tower for it, but if they can use the Rift Herald well enough, then I think it's a good trade.
Very much so. Rift Herald if used correctly, can guarantee a turret at minimum, and if used even better, can guarantee at least 2 turrets. How well it will be used on ESG, very much up to Imposture and the rest of his team right now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, ESG was in a bit of a tough spot, and while they are behind in gold because of that turret, I believe mostly, and the gold deficit or the farm deficit, I think from the top lane, it's definitely not like they're getting stomped. That's for sure. They were down 1-4. It's 4-4. They lost one turret, but they got the Drake and the Rift Herald. Now, what Drake is coming up next? It's gonna be another Ocean. And that's going to be spawning in about a minute 30, so it'll be interesting to sort of watch out for that and see what kind of plays the teams can make. I think it looks like AWOL's already setting up for it.
Looks like they are. Stun lands on a Sivian. There's the ulti. Well timed to keep him alive for now. The flash away. Sonic also tries to get in there in the nick of time. Won't be able to do so. Now Imposter's looking for more. The bottom lane of ESG's roamed up. Fridge is going to be flying and securing a kill. Sonic's going to try and get what he can on this one, but the turret's going to melt him on the back line. ESG coming up big, and there's your Rift Herald.
I think they could definitely use this and get this first turret and even get some damage on the second one. I don't think they can take it, but I mean, I could be wrong, but they should definitely be guiding it up here. Not doing that. They shouldn't be just letting it do that. Okay. Drake's not up for 30 seconds, and the enemy team just respawned. I definitely think they could have got a little more damage on that turret, maybe even taken it there. I'm not 100% sure about this, but it looks like they're going to rotate bot and maybe get some more turret action down here.
AOL, albeit AOL are committing a lot of, and I mean all of their resources to this bottom tier turret. Some of the ultimates are still down in this fight, but Sonic trying to curve around the corner here. ESG might be in all sorts of trouble. Sky of the Week not going to land onto its target. There's the flag and drag. Not going to hit up anyone. It's able to. The stopwatch out of Ooey Gooey. Can he get out? Yes, he can. But the flash bubble on it too. Outer rupture. How much is it going to matter in the end? Sonic goes in. He's not going to be going out just yet. Sivian into the middle of the team. That's the double kill for Lissandra. And ESG able to squeeze that fight out.
Yeah, Sonic Abs is up still, so it's definitely not going to be able for ESG to sort.
Oren Blade gonna get deleted here. Sivian goes right back in and right back out. Another set of trade kills as the 2-for-2 goes into a 3-for-3. Whew, yikes.
I believe that was actually 3-for-4. I believe Nami was the only surviving member there. Because Oren Blade and Sivian died there at the end, and it was already a 2-for-2, so.
Alright.
Ooh, there was a good sidestep there by Imposture, which is obviously not impossible to predict a Syndra stun, but.
Alright, so Gimpy, break that fight down for me.
Yeah.
All that nonsense, back and forth. Tell me what just happened.
Honestly, it's kind of hard to tell sometimes, but. Oh.
These teams want each other's throats! We're not done just yet! Now Ooey Gooey's going down! And Ocean Dragon number 2 might be on the cards for ESG. Nami's going down to boot. Sonic goes back in. He is going to surely manage to pick up another kill before also going down again!
This is getting ridiculous. This is a very, very bloody game. To answer your question, sorry. Definitely, it was an interesting fight. I think Sonic Abs and Sievert came over the wall, and they saw Nami there, and it sort of freaked them out a little bit, and they didn't know how to react to that.
Why would I was getting freaked out?
Yeah, I
don't really
know.
Yikes.
Sorry about that. I think they saw the Nami there, and instead of continuing to go bot, which they should have done immediately because they'd already cut the Nami off and she couldn't come down, which would have made it a 3v4. If not, maybe it was 3v2, I'm not sure. But they saw the Nami sort of path up towards her, and it gave the enemy team enough time to get there for the fight. And it made it so it could be definitely a better 4v4, which is, I think, what it was. But I think there's a. The thing is, I think if Sonic Abs uses his ult, while To Live Is to Smile, Ooey Gooey, or Sievert are ulting a certain area, it can be so helpful if they can just trap 2 people in there, get the Ooey Gooey ult, get the Ooey Gooey AoE, get the Syndra AoE, get the Ezreal ult, get the Sievert, like get his ult, like, and I just don't think they're using it very well. There's a lot of damage on the Nami there. Uh-oh.
Yeah, Sivian also getting stunned up very well on the Frozen Tomb to secure himself and not get killed there. It's also not the first time Sivian's managed to pull that off, so definitely on the upper level Lissandra play that we've seen in the BSGCS so far.
What is? What do you know what the hotkey is to look at the gold differences?
X.
Thank you. Yeah. So I did want to look at this. So it looks like there's about an 1,800 gold difference in the top lane, which is kind of where the big difference between the two teams is coming from. Mid lane is about even. Jungle, about 500 gold difference. ADC, about 200, basically even. And supports, about another 600. So AWOL Phoenix does have the gold here, but honestly, Sievert's top lane, and sure, he's got the ult, but I don't think they can win this fight without him.
Yeah, in fact, it looks like they're not going to go for the final. This time the teams do back off and respect the other without going for an all-out Brawl Fiesta as the turret now getting sieged, and they will go down.
Looks like they're going to try and trade the mid turret for a bot turret here, but I don't know. It just, like, getting a mid-tier turret, tier 1 turret is definitely better than getting a bot tier 1 turret, and they're almost...
This is going to backfire pretty bad. Sivian's the only one to possibly defend this, and even then, he has to poke away at Ice Shards. That's another turret about to go down. In fact, Lissandra is going to follow. This is a very dangerous move out of ESG. AWOL could keep going.
For sure. ESG need to back now before they lose more. But at this point, they're already so dedicated to getting this turret that they have to get it before backing.
Now, Fridge is going to go into the middle of the team. That's a 1v4. Don't think he's going to be able to survive that one in the long run. In fact, he'll be able to pick up Ooey Gooey and stay alive.
Wow.
What?
You know, Fridge has definitely proven his worth on this Malphite so far. They did get the turret there, but they didn't get the inhib, which is the most important part. It's going to be definitely hard for them to defend that inhib now, but, you know, I think overall it wasn't as bad as it could have been because of Fridge.
Yeah, definitely being able to actually get a kill in that situation. Nami versus Jarvan. Let's see. Surf's up for Sonic. There's the bubble. Trying to get his team in towards this one. Exhaust. They're throwing all their abilities on a Sonic here. Ormblade will also be dishing out a little bit more damage. It's not going to be enough to put Jarvan in his tomb just yet. But actually, Ormblade steps too close, and now he's going to get shut down onto the team. ESG's going to have to run away, but there's still a turret right there. Can they escape this one?
Oh!
Trundle, the juke flash, not going to do anything. And that's two kills. Two kills on the side of AOL.
That's what you call chasing butterflies. I mean, they tried so hard to make that pick work, but nobody on ESG was ready for it, and then they just chased them all the way in between the turrets and just got demolished. Sievert now gets to teleport and take the bot tier for free. Oh. So that is every single one of ESG's outer turrets.
Gone, and Sievert might be soon to follow. They're able to get rid of the barrel real soon. Tidecolor's blessing onto the Kai'Sa. Wrap it up very quickly. Pirate is pretty fast in this one. We'll see how well he can escape. A pursuing three-man ESG GENSIS is not going to be enough. Seifert's able to actually get out of that situation as his team is now on the Baron.
It looks like they're just going to back off, though. I think it's the right choice, even if there's only 2 members from ESG here. This is turning out to be a really close game, and I'm definitely starting to look forward to the series after watching this one so far.
100% with you, Gimpy. My only qualm is if we look at the gold in total between both these teams. ESG are going to have to pull out a lot of more miracle plays if they want to stay on this one, because the gold's not favoring them too much. Sonic, on the other hand, is going to be supplying ESG GENSIS with that gold that they need. So,
yeah, I mean, I think they should just be free to take this.
I don't know about that. It is not free to take that turret at all. King, Blank, and Bran are going to be spoiling that party for ESG that Sonic had opened for them. And 2 kills are going to be going over.
Come on, guys. You can't just walk up like that. You gotta... Oh, this is starting to get really frustrating to watch. I mean, over and over again, they're just sort of walking into the enemy team, and they're almost surprised when it doesn't work out exactly the way they want it to.
A little bit of a dangerous situation right now for Ormblade and Impostor. They're going to meet Sievert in the jungle here, but the rest of AOL are right around the corner. The brand damage to come through, and another set of kills. Ooey Gooey with the double kill.
Yeah. I mean, I think they just need to realize that they can't take fights unless their ults are up. And unless Malphite is around to get a good wombo, you're not probably going to win the fight. And they need to stop trying to force these picks. Sievert knew they were there. It's Sievert. He's not an idiot. He's not going to be doing something that he doesn't want to. If he doesn't want you to kill him and he thinks you can, he's going to run away, not walk into you.
Oh no, while we're talking about walking into you, that is going to be an easy kill onto Sivian. Fridge tries to go in, but has no team to answer of. Another fish in the barrel on towards Sievert as Fridge is going to get gunned down a little bit here. He's tanky enough to survive, but he's the only man on his team that is able to do anything in these situations.
Honestly, it looked to me like Fridge actually missed his ult there, which was kind of...
It's not going to be over yet, because... donating kills, the ESG GENSIS charity stream is live, ladies and gentlemen, as they have donated a massive set of kills over to AOL Phoenix.
Yeah, definitely Sievert is playing a big part in this. He's getting a lot of damage off of his barrels. But honestly, every single member is putting in work, and they aren't doing what ESG is doing, which is giving kills for free and getting caught out over and over and over again.
Yeah. Solid example of that. Sivian tried to make the play, but not using the Frozen Tomb early enough. Holds it on a little bit too long and does get punished for that.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's definitely closer than some people thought, and especially that early game was really, really close. But it just looks like almost ESG is getting out-rotated and is playing, definitely not playing as smart as AOL is.
Yes.
They just need to realize that they can't always be fighting, and they need to take fights that they have the advantage in and not force them.
All right. Definitely the case. I do agree with you. But I also think this might be curtains for ESG. We're looking at a disgusting 13,000 gold deficit 25 minutes in. That is very, very hard to come back from. And I think AOL just going to play it very textbook here. Either go bot or top, and then they can line something up.
Yeah. I mean, if you look, Kaisa still doesn't even have her second item. And they are 25 minutes into the game. I don't know. That seems a little bit wrong. Not so much farming wise. They're just not being efficient with their pathing, and they definitely should be giving her maybe some more kills in some of these fights. But I don't know. It's definitely kind of rough for ESG right now.
Absolutely, they're gonna need another 10 minutes at minimum in order to stay in this one, and that's gonna require able to make a couple of mistakes they haven't really shown so far.
Oh, that was really smooth of Fridge there. He cleared that up just in time. But with Trundle showing bot, looks like it's going to be a free Baron for...
yes, now they can collapse on Sievert here, who is all on his lonesome and just drawing time, but he's also more than safe enough. This is an uncontested Baron Asher for AOL.
For Ezreal, no less, actually. Looks like the smite was a little bit missed. And Ezreal actually got the Baron there.
Indeed be the case. Fortunately for AOL, there is no global ultimates that could steal that, so a little lax by the Baron pet. Doesn't cost them. And now with the Baron Asher, I think this is the end of the road for Game 1 ESG. I hate to say it, but...
yeah. I do agree with you. I think it looks like that mid inhib actually is going to come up pretty soon, so that'll be kind of nice, give them a reprieve in that sense, but they do have Baron now, so they can just take it again, right? Looking at the gold differences, pretty much everybody has at least a 1k gold difference compared to their enemy, their rival in the lanes. The biggest difference is in the top lane, where Sievert has a gold difference of 15k to 9.6k. That is... huge. That's a 6k gold lead between laners, and that's the 5-1 and 5 Malphite. That is just how much like money that you get from Klepto and from the extra gold from minions with your barrels on GP. It's just ridiculous. And he has so much more CS than Fridge, so he's able to get so much gold and be able to do so much damage in these team fights.
Yeah, it's absolutely disgusting what Sievert is able to do on this gangplank here. Might want to chop that onto the ban list for next game. Either way, ESG are going to put up what might be a last defense here in their top turret. There's the ultimate right on a smile. They're going to look for the 80k. The stopwatch. It's been there all game. Sonic's going to go in. ESG are doing their best to stay alive in this fight. But how long is it going to last? Under the 14,000 gold deficit. It's not going to last at all. Ooey Gooey's flashing forward. He can take out Kaisen. He knows it. The ace is going to come through. And that is the end of the line for ESG in Game 1. AOL picking it up clean.
Yeah. We did talk about those those stopwatches, and they were definitely useful there. I mean, that was a 4v5, and ESG still lost. Yep, GG all around.
Very, very solid game on the side of AOL Phoenix. If we were being super picky, most definitely a couple of things to touch up on, but either way, a very, very clean matchup out of AOL. Let's look at some of the stats that made this so clean for them.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't like the Trundle pick. I didn't like the way it was being played by Imposter. I think they should get him on another engaged champ or a just sort of better tank right now. The nerfs to him make it so you kind of need to build damage, like I said, at least a little bit, or else you're really not going to be doing very much. So unfortunately, he didn't do much in the early game, and he wasn't ahead enough. And overall, he just didn't do very much. I mean, neither did Sonic Abs, really. But having his engage, having his lockdown was enough to secure them a couple kills. So having something like that on ESG side, I think, is a better pick for the next round.
All right. Does indeed sound rather fair. If we look at the damage charts here, Sievert dealing, shocker, the most damage in the game, to 20,000 total. Teammates are by no means a mile behind, though, as both Bluedit and Ooey Gooey are almost on the exact same number. In fact, Ooey Gooey ahead of his mid laner Bluedit, sitting around 16, almost 17k.
Yeah, that brand was definitely doing a lot of damage, especially into the Malphite where he does percent health. So that definitely helped get his damage up, him and the Trundle. But yeah, I don't think it was against the Nami in that sense. The Nami had some good plays and made some things happen for ESG. So I don't think that they were definitely. I don't think the Nami's a bad pick here, but they do need to be a little more careful of the brand damage. That's for sure. Now, the biggest thing I'm worried about here is Sievert did 20K, Fridge did 9K, so more than double. How do you respond to that? You said maybe they should add gameplay to the ban list, but if they do that, then they're missing out on other bans.
Yes,
And
in
then
which case,
and then Sievert just gets something else he wants to play, right?
yeah, so it's a really difficult situation for ESG, and we're going to scroll down to the division first, and then I'm going to ask you what ESG should take away from this match. Fortunately, everyone put a control ward.
Nice. That's pretty good.
Nice. As expected out of the semi-finalist teams, very much. No one lacking in the vision department. In fact, some doing better than others, and winning or losing team not. Sports are very close to each other in vision score here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, honestly, the biggest thing that surprised me the most here was that the mid laner for ESG was getting more control wards than the jungler. Maybe that's just what I'm used to, but usually the jungler is the one who gets more control wards than the mid laner. So that's really good on Sivian, and he did play well this game. So
absolutely the case here. All in all, very solid stuff out of AOL Phoenix. For ESG, walking into the next pick ban, what in the world did they have to do in order to not get too swept over under the rug?
Yeah. It's tough. Sievert is really hard to play against, and not that Fridge didn't absorb his pressure at least fairly well, but he started roaming a lot. And it sort of let Sievert get lots of free farm and just sort of farm up, get his Triforce, get that item spike, and then he was able to play the gangplank, get some good assist bot lane, set up with his ult. He was just playing it really well. And I don't know if banning it is the right decision here, because then they're going to lose out on another ban, unless they want to let the Darius through, which into what Fridge likes to play, I don't think that's a good idea. So it's going to be tough. I don't know if focusing bans maybe on someone else and just hoping that they're going to be weak enough that you can abuse them.
All right. Well, either way, it sounds like it's a precarious situation indeed for ESG GENSIS. Hopefully, they can make history repeat itself 100% of the time in the BSGCS. Semifinals have had at least one best of three that has spanned the third game. ESG, they're either making history or breaking it here. And we'll be right back with you on that game 2 before we get to the game 3. AOL Phoenix versus ESG GENSIS. We'll be right back. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Do eSports semifinal matchup between ESG GENSIS and AOL Phoenix. For Game 1 was an absolute slaughterfest for the side of AOL, rampaging past ESG 29 minutes in. And that's my co-casting partner here, Gimpy. Will they be able to do it again?
Oh, I mean, I think so. I mean, AOL definitely had a really. I would say that the early game wasn't super clean, but they definitely had a really clean, and they weren't getting picked late game, which is actually how ESG lost a lot of the lead. Well, I wouldn't say lead, lost a lot of what made the game so close is that they got picked over and over again, and they fed them gold. And I think that doesn't change instantly. You know what I mean? That's not something that people can sort of be like, all right, we did this last time, let's not do it again. I think it's likely to happen again. And if AOL plays as clean and as smart as they did before, it's going to be easy GG.
All right, well, hopefully they can play as clean as smart. Instead of ESG, you're looking to repeat history here. Every single Do eSports semifinal set has at least one Game 3 in its best of 3 qualifications. So on the side of ESG, hopefully they'll be able to make it happen, or they'll be going to meet A3 eSports in the third place matchup.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think we got some people we got a shout out from last time. That was Castor Yeswo for I don't know how many months, but he subbed.
3 months.
And Organic Bunny for 6 months.
Yes, thank you very much for your continuous support.
Yeah, I mean, it's people like you guys that sort of let us continue to they continue to sort of do this and helps us to really get people to want to play. So if you guys just keep supporting our stream, we'll keep streaming.
All right, that's wholesome and very much welcome. But either way, we're going right back into the action. Champion Select, we're going to dive into Gimpy. I know you talked about it a little bit earlier before the break, but very precarious situation our ESG are in. Mm-hmm. What is the ideal ban lineup for this team against AOL?
Honestly, I don't know. I think if they really are scared of the Darius into the champ pool that Sievert plays, or not Sievert, Fridge plays, that makes sense. Ban it. Keep doing that. But ban Jarvan, and then maybe even ban Trundle here. It sets Sonicabs up to be playing something that he's not as comfortable on. He's not able to create as much pressure. And if Imposter can get a good tank, or not tank, a good jungler that lets him gank more and lets him set his team up, I think they'll be in a much better spot. Because I think if they can win the game enough early game, Sievert won't have enough influence, especially if he picks GP, that they can sort of just run him over.
Well, keeping our eye on the ban list. Jarvan's still not banned, but Brand banned. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Uigui has been playing that champion for eons. I think it makes sense in BSG. Getting people off their comfort picks is really important. So I think the ban makes sense. It was definitely something that they had some trouble dealing with last time. And if they're not going to be banning J4, then that's a good ban too. Lets them not have as good synergy with the J4. So I think it's an alright ban.
Fair enough. And Jarvan managing to escape another pick ban for AOL. They might lock it in right here. They won't. It'll either be the Recon instead for Uigui.
Now, I don't think Orenblade really wants to play Xayah here, so I don't think that they're going to pick the Xayah in this rotation. Swain, definitely good pickup. I don't know who's going to play it here, whether it's Sivian or Orenblade, or maybe even Fridge, but it's a really good team fighting champion, especially in BSG, where people just don't respect it as much and don't bully it as much.
So they had a great flex pick, and now they lock in Vayne.
Well, honestly, this looks like it's going to be AOL Phoenix's game. I don't know, man. Vayne is definitely not in a good spot right now, and is an incredibly hard champion to play well. I wish Orenblade luck, but that's kind of scary.
Yeah. Now, here's like the only situation where I actually see this working out is Smile isn't really an AD C player, is an AP C player, and with that Swain taken away, being on the Jhin, while it's still a good matchup into Vayne, is by no means the best matchup for punishing Vayne in the early game. So even though I don't agree with the pick necessarily, Ormblade definitely gets a lot of breathing room right here.
Actually, I think Jin is a really good pick in the Vayne. Jin has a decent early game, and definitely way better than Vayne. And with the CC lock that the Rakan and Jin can do, I mean, I think this Vayne is going to be in for a rough lane.
Oh boy, well, spicy lane at least, that's for sure. Rough, well, that's going to be a little bit on Rupture here, locking in Blitzcrank Vayne. That's a combo we don't see very often.
It is definitely. I'm curious here. Maybe Ozzy just let his team have free reign at this point. Like, this doesn't seem like something Ozzy would want to draft.
Possibly, but nonetheless, we proceed onwards and see if there's any more chaos or if ESG are going to try and build some structure around these unique champions.
So there was a Vlad and a Syndra ban there, which is definitely directed toward Blue Edit, whereas top lane was banned away for Fridge. Now that leaves Fridge with 3 less champions, and his Malphite's still there, so I mean they could go for it, but I'm honestly looking at this team comp, and they've got a decent amount of what's the word? Decent amount of magic damage. Honestly, I know he was memey about it, but maybe this is the time to pull out that Amumu top lane.
Oh boy. Well, if ESG truly do have full reign, then the Amumu top, which has indeed been picked before and has indeed actually won games in duo esports before, might be on the case here. Yeah, I just think right now ESG. Oh god, Secret Sludge and Pantheon. All right, yeah, that's the go fun bell.
Here's the thing: the way they win this game is by not feeding the Akali and not feeding the Pantheon. Legitimately, if Pantheon and Akali cannot get ahead, they're just going to start to be useless, especially into a Swain. No, don't do that.
Bark,
Come
bark.
on, you guys can win this. Okay, that's better. But I mean, honestly, I still don't know how I feel about this Blitz and Vayne. But I mean, other than that, like Evelynn is in a decent spot right now, and if Imposture can play it well enough, then I think it'll be really good for post 6, getting some good ganks off in the bot lane and maybe even the top lane.
Yes. Now, there's a lot on the board to talk about, and Vayne and Blitzcrank for now is now one of them. That is, God knows what could happen in that situation. What can happen is Sievert on Pantheon. I believe is his favorite champion, so it's definitely the for fun signal being raised here. But talk to me about Pantheon into Poppy. Hammers versus Spears in the top lane. He's taken Ignite to boot. What do we think is going to happen?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I think Poppy can hold her own for the most part, but if she gets ganked, especially with the Jarvan, I think it's going to be game over for her. I mean, like, yeah, I think that Poppy should have the matchup. I looked it up just now. Yeah, and so it looks like that Poppy is supposed to be a counter into the Pantheon. You can sort of zone him pretty well, and your W, if you time it right, can block his W, I believe it is. That is his stun,
Yes,
like
his jump. So that could work out pretty big in favor of the Poppy.
Yeah. So it looks like it should be a decent matchup, and I'm sure Fridge is comfortable on the champion, so I do look forward to this, actually. I was worried for a moment with the Nasus being hovered. Definitely not.
Would have been absolutely terrible.
Yeah, it's definitely not so good into a Pantheon, but this makes it look like it could be an interesting game. I'm excited to see the Evelynn pop off. I'm excited to see Blue Edit fail on the Akali. I'm flabbergasted that Vayne was picked alongside Blitzcrank, but you know what? The script, it's on its way. Okay,
it is on its way.
Here comes the 2-0, or sorry, the 2-1 comeback.
The 2-1 comeback. Well, it would be a 2-0 in terms of sequence, but either way, Vayne is a weird pick, and the one thing that Vayne has, and I'm not sure how well it's going to be used, is she has mobility. So if we're talking a scenario where Akali jumps on the enemy AD carry, which normally that is kind of automatic death if you are someone who can't really get away or fight back, Vayne is one of the very few AD carries that actually can fight back. So if there is a blue dit or on blade situation, I don't think it'll result in automatic death, assuming the Akali isn't fed.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I've never seen Blue play Akali, but it's an intensely hard champ to play really well. And if you are not fed, you are definitely going to be doing nothing late game. It's just straight up, you're just going to get one shot basically by someone. And even if you just try and go in, Swain is just going to tick you down with his ult, right? So I think that if ESG can get the game to 35 minutes, I think it's GG. I could be wrong, but I think it's GG if they get it to 35 minutes.
Fair. Another matchup we didn't talk about, and kind of a unique pickup that's gone invisible so far, the Evelynn from Posture.
Yeah.
How do we think this is going to mix in with the ESG team comp and against AOLs?
It is definitely a little interesting. If Impostor can play Evelynn well, I think it'll be really good. Because having someone that can sort of just come from the side and get a good pick on the Jhin or even the Akali, really. I mean, if you land your charm, which would be kind of hard on the Akali, and especially if Jarvan's going squishy like he usually does, it won't be too hard for Evelynn to get her one shots off. And if she can come from the side, get them, maybe get some good flanks, while Swain just runs them down. I don't know. Could be pretty good.
Right. Hopefully for ESG, everything pans out smoothly. For AOL, they are in prime position to face Conquer Academy in the grand finals. They are able to close this match out successfully.
Ooh, that's a nice Evelynn skin. Yes.
Yikes. Okay, well, let's keep things PG-13.
Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. So let's quickly touch over the Blitzcrank. Very known for invading here. Do you think that ESG are going to go for an early strategy and look for an invade pick, or not quite?
I'm sorry. I missed that entirely. Someone invade, ESG invade, you said?
Yes, ESG invade with Blitzcrank. Do you think will happen?
Yeah. I mean, they have a Blitzcrank, and AOL is definitely pretty susceptible to an invade, so I think it's probably a good idea. If they can get, I'm curious how Swain's passive interacts with the hook. But I mean, if right when he lands, they can get another pull, he'll go even farther. Then maybe it would be good. They're really far behind. He gets a good pull, pulls on the Jhin, Rakan, Akali, Jarvan. Only one maybe he wouldn't want to pull is Pantheon, but even that would be good. So if they get the pull, I think that'll give them definitely a big advantage, especially if they can give the kill over to Swain or Vayne and just get them into the late game.
All right. Hopefully for ESG, I think an invade would be solid enough against this team comp. And while we're looking at team comp, something we didn't really go over, with the exception of the great synergy between Rakan and Jarvan, along with the fact that we have a pause, very unique way the fights play out for AOL, because they have two assassins, essentially, in Pantheon and Akali.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Assassins into a Vayne is it's definitely not the worst ADC to be playing Assassins into, which is nice, but all Pantheon has to do is land that stun, and if they both go in, she's dead.
Well, do you need both?
I don't think you need both at that, but at some point you might. You know what I mean? And especially if Blitzcrank is standing right by and can get a good hook or a good knock up, and Fridge will be there too, so Fridge can get a W over top of the ooh. Unfortunate. They didn't get the invade they wanted. They're going to try and walk around. I mean, that's 2 wards down, though, so they don't know about Sieverts, but that means he's pretty susceptible to an early gank.
Yeah, a little bit of a unique route taken by ESG there. They will not go for the standard rush it down bot lane. Instead, looking for something top lane doesn't pay out the same way.
Yeah, I mean, they got 2 wards off, though, in the blue side. Oh. They got 2 wards on the blue side jungle, which is nice. They can see where the jungler's starting, and they can see the jungle's pathing. So basically, Jarvan will know where Evelyn's going to go. I think it's going to be pretty obvious where she's going to go because Evelynn really likes to go into Raptors at level 2, and it can give her a lot of health back. So if she goes straight from blue to Raptors into the Scuttle Crab, I wouldn't be too surprised topside, but we'll see where she goes.
That we will, and some of these early laning phases is going to be easier for some than others. Let's talk about the Akali Swain matchup a little bit. Do we think anything will really happen post-6 here, or pre-6?
I mean, that's when Akali's going to be strongest. So if she doesn't abuse that, then definitely nothing's going to happen in this lane of much importance, I would say. She took Ignite. He took TP, which means Swain's just trying to play out the laning phase, and if he gets killed, just TP back to lane, get some more farm, which is definitely the right choice. Fridge got to be careful here.
Oh, gotta be very careful. In fact, level 2 played perfectly on the side of Steve with the flash, and the very, very clean first blood of Seaford, able to wrap that up and make it look easy.
Yeah, that was not the right choice. As soon as he hit level 2, Fridge should have just been sitting under that tower, waiting for the farm to get to him, hit level 2, take W. And then basically Pantheon doesn't get the advantage. But now Pantheon has a huge advantage.
Huge enough to do a little bit of scouting in the enemy jungle for possibly more. It doesn't exactly end up working out from bit of back and forth trading in the mid lane, but actually he's going to go right into the jungle. Seavert didn't quite back, just Yang's going to force the flash out of him. Posture.
Yeah, I mean, this is the potential of Seavert here. They can pretty much just free farm the enemy jungle because Evelyn's not going to have any kind of really ways to escape Seavert. Looks like they want to collapse on the Jarvan. He used his E there, and that was not.
Oh, there's the never move. They're going to reel him in, but can they seal the deal on this one? The flash away from Sivian, the knock up on towards Poppy again.
Evelyn's just taking the farm. Why is she? Why? Why? You could have just helped him and he would have been dead. But you really needed that red, huh?
Unlucky stuff for ESG. Maybe a bit of a miscommunication. Nonetheless, very solid play by AOL Phoenix to once again wrap up even more kills.
Yeah, and that went on to the Jarvan there, which will definitely help him get his warrior and his early game damage ready. Now, it should be pointed out that Poppy was the one who died there again. So that means that Poppy missed more farm and didn't have TP to get back to lane. So she was just, like, she's just losing farm here, and she's against a 1-0-1 Pantheon.
Yes. It's going to be a little difficult for Fridge to come back from. Mind you, Seaver does not have teleport and is now backing, so Fridge gets a little bit of breathing room and time to farm.
Oh, I mean, Blitz is not landing any hooks. He's not even trying to predict the side steps. I don't know. It's just, I don't know about this Blitz pick right now, because he really needs to be getting those picks, or maybe try and set the Vayne up for a strong amount of gold going into the mid game.
Possible snowball Vayne, very snowbally champion, but even though the Blitzcrank isn't doing a lot in this laning phase, he's going to look for another hook here and see where it goes. It's going to land onto the Rakan, but he can just dash away very, very easily.
Yeah. I mean, Seavert now has his mana back after coming back, and he's still up 3 farm on the Poppy, so it's definitely not looking good for Poppy right now.
No, it's not, but as I was minorly concluding, there's not any real pressure being exerted onto Ornblade. We stretched how much of you can really punish a Vayne here. It's not really being exerted here with the Rakan Jhin lane, and well, that's kind of neutralizing Blitzcrank lack of presence in this lane. So
do you see what's going on in the top lane right now?
I do see what's going on the top lane right now. A little bit of a drive-by. Figured bot lane didn't work. out too much. We'll see if this works out. It would be 100% unexpected if they can pull it off properly. Rupture has the flash. He's going to go for it. There's the knock-up. Seaver trying to fight back on this one. Low on mana. There's the hook. Reels him back in. And that will not be a kill answered back. Fridge dealing damage.
Oh no!
Not able to land. Sonic Edge is here. And on an absolutely catastrophic turnaround, Seaver with the outplay. Press F to pay respects.
Fridge, that was your way back in, buddy. That is a 2-0-1 Pantheon. This is exactly what we were warning ESG about. If they start losing this game early game and the enemy team can snowball it enough, then they will not make it to that 30-35 minute mark, and it's just going to be over.
Oh boy. So, a couple of disastrous events in a row for ESG. It's not looking too hot for them right now. Thankfully, their bottom lane has remained stable, and they can start saying late game. Albeit that might get very tricky. Pantheon's coming down here. There's the deadly flourish. There's the ignite and all the damage. They need Seavert on a killing spree as that top lane pressure gets exerted on other places of the map.
Hey, Sievert said, hey, you're going to come to my lane, Blitz? I'm coming to yours. And definitely did not end up the way it did for Sievert there. Sadly, the Vayne fell.
It did not. So, rough stuff coming in for Oran Bladen. Finally, will get punished in general. 4-0 AOL, ESG. I'd say mid lane is the only hope, but mid lane has a 63-38 CS difference. Things are very glim.
Yes, things are not... Oh, that's definitely a word, Shuno. Things are not looking good for ESG right now. What exactly do you think they could do to come back into this? Like I was saying earlier, I think the best way for them to win the game is to wait. Oh.
Make something happen on a blue. That might be the answer, but he's going to be able to just slide out of that and then go right back in on top of him. Last Caress is going to be able to get Imposture out for a few seconds longer, but not long enough. With that Demonic Ascension, should be a kill. Not any range, though. The flash forward Sivian secures the kill. And ESG finally get one on the board.
He would have been in the range, even after he got smited, if he had not stopped to auto the Akali there. Oh my goodness. This is getting ridiculous.
Oh, bit of a back and forth between these teams, or just kind of a fourth out of AOL, depending on how you want to look at it. Top lane is super rough, and not really much Poppy can do against that now. 0-3 versus a 3-0-1 Pantheon.
Yeah. I mean, Sievert loves playing this champ, so you have to be aware that, like, if he gets that kill at level 2, like he did, which, I mean, me and Shuno both saw coming as soon as he hit level 2 and Fridge did not back up. Like, he knows how to play the champion. You just got to be more respectful. And I think that's part of ESG's problem, is they aren't respecting AOL in any of these games. And, like, they just need to respect them, play safe right now, wait until 35, 30 minutes, and...
Let's see where this gank goes first. Imposture up in the top lane. Sievert flashes the damage, but can he turn it around this time around? Doesn't look like it. This time he can land it. The Q coming through. Now Evelyn underneath the own top. Alright, a little bit of trouble here. They might be able to turn around onto Sonic to boot if they keep going. Now down the bottom lane. Orenblade is dead. Smile picks up that kill. Sonic still on the run here. Manless Blitzcrank flying up in top lane, but that's not going to do too much. 6-2 on the board.
Wow. Blitz made an interesting decision there, trying to go top again, but like nothing came of it. He didn't get that kill in the Jarvan, and then they saw him going top and were like, okay, let's kill this Vayne. And I don't know, Blitz is just... Ooh, that was a really good Nevermore by the Swain there.
Yep, now up in the top lane, Sonic is going to get taken out. But in the mid lane, we're not done just yet. This is a dead bird And Sievert picks up another kill.
I mean, that too, and Fridge barely survived top as well.
Call 411 because all of ESG are in need of dire help right now. Pantheon is a menace.
Yes, call 4-on-1, and that's a scoreline too. Looks like people are starting to get some wards out on the map. Blue side has wards all up and down the river again, making it really hard for anyone other than Evelyn to really be traveling down that river. And even there, she likely, I think, just got saw by that pink ward.
Yeah, definitely. And ESG, they're going for the proactive play. The only one that could stop them is Bludet, and Sonic Ebbs around the corner. A little bit of a dangerous situation. We'll see where it goes. Sonic's over the wall, coming in towards this one. Dragon does get secured by ESG, but where's the fight gonna go? Deadly Flourish taking out Rupture. The final hour used by Orenblade. That's gonna be a Kern call. The target will be Imposture. The fourth shot, where's it gonna be? Not gonna do much, but ESG gets a Dragon, and they, for the most part, do get out.
They do lose the turret top for it, though, unfortunately. ESG is just... I mean, they're making good choices here, but they've already gave up so much that even by trying to make these really proactive, good decisions, they're just sort of, like, losing out on any advantage that they had with those decisions in other lanes.
Yeah, Looted able to dodge out. The damage goes right back in. That's a kill. Sonic will also get taken out, and Sievert, you can't 1v3, but Orenblade is picking up his first kill of the game.
Yeah, I mean, hey, like, this is what I was talking about before. People are making mistakes this time on AOL. They are getting, I think, a little more cocky. They're getting like, oh, they're just kind of memeing with their team comp. They're just trying to have fun at this point. Maybe this is a free win for us.
Luda goes right back in and right back to base.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I was talking about. I think if ESG can continue doing this and scale, the Vayne and the Swain are going to be doing a lot more damage late game than the Jhin and the Akali, that's for sure. And even, I think, the Poppy versus the Pantheon, as long as you stop feeding him.
Yes,
he's a hungry boy. He needs to be fed, but maybe just stop getting him so fat.
Here is the problem that I see with that right now. Only one on ESG that has a completed item in the early game is Sivian, 3-1-0 on the Swain, doing well in that department, but everyone else on ESG is still building up towards their first item, so it's going to be a little bit of time before anything more happens. Unless Sievert gets caught out here, then that might change things up a little bit.
Sievert, buddy. That's 3 in a row where you got caught out. You might want to start thinking before you start doing.
Little frisky on that end, and giving a little bit more room than ESG needs over to them right now, but it's giving them what they need, and as you pointed out, this is exactly what they're looking for. Imposture might be neutralizing that, though, as Evelyn returns to being invisible. The hook over the wall onto Rakan. They don't have the damage to finish him at this stage of the game. Sonic's going to go in. A two-man Cataclysm to come through. Blitzcrank will be falling right afterwards. Polluted picks up the kill. There's the current call and the Pantheon ultimate flying down. And another set of kills on the side of AOL.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate there. If Swain had ult, that would have been an entirely different fight. But unfortunately, his ult was down from using it mid, and AOL took advantage of that.
Yes, and Vayne also getting punished again. That is the grotesqueness of the Pantheon in this matchup.
Yeah. I mean, this is starting to get a bit ridiculous. Poor little Orenblade's just getting flashed on. He can't do anything. How are you supposed to react to that in time? Poor little guy died. I mean,
yes.
the enemy team has good CC lockdown, so if they can get a good target like that and just pick them again, they're pretty much dead.
Yeah. Posture is looking for something around the corner here. Hook's already missed on the side of Rupture. This should be a secured Rift Herald for IOL. In fact, it's very risky for ESG to be anywhere near this. Fridge is the target, gets locked up by the stun, and the flourish. Imposture goes in, goes out right afterwards. Rakan will be going down here as they're able to lock Jarvan against the wall. He'll flash over it, and towards his own turret even more. ESG, yeah, they're able to get it.
Yeah, it was a really good fight for them, but I think if Swain had landed his slow or even just put it further in front of them, making them walk back, that would have been another 2 or 3 kills there. But he misplaced his slow, and inevitably they didn't get it. They didn't get more than they could have. Or, sorry, they got less than they... I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I get what you're saying. The hook's going to miss out of Rupture again. Turret under focus, but they might just turn right onto Akali. Jin takes the brunt force of the damage, and they're able to survive a couple seconds longer. Sivian's going down. Fridge is flashing out a Cataclysm. And that is going to be the back away on the side of ESG. They get a lead, and then AOL just pounces back and gets a lead even better.
Yeah, I don't really know what ESG can do at this point. I mean, sure they can wait the game out, but it doesn't stop them from doing what they have been doing, and that's letting themselves get picked over and over again. So even if they wait the game out, they still might not win.
Definitely the case here. It's going to be basically this is a battle of who makes less mistakes, because ESG are still very down in gold, but they could be down in gold even more, as AOL have donated a couple of kills over to them that I think they're starting to notice they may not have wanted to be donating in the first place.
Evelyn is sort of just wandering around at this point, not really doing much.
And Fridge might be in a little bit of trouble here. Ends up knocking him out of the Blitzcrank hook, in fact. A 2v2 coming through with the rest of AOL right around the corner. Fridge is going to be going down again here. 2-4-2 on the Poppy. The teleport is coming through out of Civi, and the combo and damage missing out of AOL, but there's not enough confidence or punishment out of ESG.
Well, I mean, honestly, that was a really overconfident TP by Civian. I mean, if they'd lined it up properly, they could have easily burst him down immediately and just killed him. So he's lucky that they missed the CC, and now it looks like they're going to go for a Drake.
Uh-oh. We have a pause and an Infernal Dragon for AOL. Pretty catastrophic that the Infernal was the number for AOL that time. This is going to make the damage coming out of everything even worse for ESG.
Definitely starting to look pretty scary for ESG right now. I don't think that you know, I don't know. I feel like if they wanted to sort of win, like, I think they should have just banned Sonic Cab's like Jarvan. He's not done like phenomenal on it, but that's my point. If that's his best champion and he's still not doing the best on it, other than being able to lock them down, which he's done good with that, like, just put it away and make him pick something he's less comfortable on. I don't know. It just seems really simple to me.
Yeah, I mean, this is a little bit of a tricky situation for ESG. They banned the Darius both times, which, give or take on how much you agree or disagree with, but definitely the Jarvan should have been on the ban list. For ESG, Evelyn, Vayne. The Vayne actually wasn't doing bad. In fact, I think Orenley was doing perfectly fine on in the laning phase versus Jin or Khan. It just so happened that top lane spiraled out of control, and we saw how that first death played out. If anything, if I'm going to be nitpicky to ESG, I'm going to question this Evelyn pickup here, because it hasn't done a whole lot this game, and with how it's playing, it doesn't look like it's going to do too much.
No. Yeah, I don't think Imposter's super comfortable on Evelyn, so I don't know why he would pick it. It's not like it's OP right now. I don't know. Doesn't really make much sense to me either.
Nonetheless, Gimpy, ESG are now down solid 6,000 gold. And there's still ways, most definitely, for them to try and claw back into this. One particular might you highlight as an opportunity for ESG to just snag something?
Yeah. I mean, Blitz is really good at getting picks late game. what's kind of good about ism, if you can land a really good hook late game, it can be what basically makes you win the game, even if you're behind. So they do have that, which is nice. And the Swain is doing fairly well, which is good, because Swain is definitely someone that can scale into the late game and have an incredible team fight presence. So if they can get a good team fight, if they can get good picks, I think that's how they come back into the game. But do I think that's going to happen? Not really. Do I think they're going to try and force picks and then lose more lives in the process? Yeah, probably.
Mm. Well, fair enough for ESG. Hopefully they can get those picks and get them cleanly, as difficult as that may be to ask at this stage for them.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's just like they're down, what, you said 6K gold. They're just trying to sort of keep themselves alive. They put down 2.
Double. Now, that is exactly what you want to be doing. That is how you tell the enemy team that you are having a death bush at all times, and they will never want to clear both of those wards at once. This is an advanced strategy. ESG, they're playing 3D chess right now.
Yes, that's for sure. I mean, ESG has always been known to be creative. That's for sure. I mean, they have Dory K as part of their lineup at one point, so they must know something that we don't. That's interesting. What the? Oh, so they just put that down. I thought they were trying to fight the Rift Herald there, but I was very confused for a moment. I was like, what? I thought they already got the Rift Herald, but...
They will be sending Shelly up in the top lane, where she might get disposed of. Sivian also almost got disposed of, forced to use the flash just to get off of that slight misposition.
I mean, they see the Evelynn in the top lane right now, and Pantheon could very easily ult onto the mid lane here, which he might try to do. I'm not really sure. Oh, no, he's going to ult up near Evelynn and try and catch
He's
her out.
found the Evelynn he's looking for his prey. The Blast Cone might get him out a little bit more. Condemned against the wall. All sorts of trouble for Sievert, but he's not going to get taken down just yet. Sonic goes in, but he's going to go out right afterwards. Bluded picks up the kill. Vayne with a shutdown, but are ESG too far down on gold at this stage because AOL are ignoring them. They're ignoring the turrets that might be blocking them to boot. 18-9 on the board. AOL with 3 kills in a row.
I mean, this might be where Evelynn needs to shine. Look how low they are. If Evelynn can get a really good ult off, he could kill 3 people at once there. This is what, like, Evelynn needs to try and do something here, or else the pick just doesn't make any sense.
Alright, Imposture.
He's been seen by a blue ward.
It's on you. He flashes into the team and gets deleted.
That's not what I meant. That is not at all what I meant. Oh, dear.
Little anticlimactic for how we were building it up, but not exactly the answer for Impostor right there.
Yeah, that's for sure. I just don't like. They had actually a really good catch there on the Sievert, but Vayne actually canceled an auto attack to try and get an empowered Q, and he got away because of it. And then they took a fight ensuing where I was watching Vayne in that particular fight. He walked right into the Uigui's stun, walked right into the Uigui charm, then got hit by the Jarvan's knockup, and then was hit by Blue Out again. He isn't dodging anything with his abilities. Like, that's the whole point of Vayne. This is just getting more and more frustrating, guys. You're picking these champions, and you're just doing this. I don't know.
Like I said, a bit of a rough one for ESG, to put it one way, if we're sugarcoating things slightly.
Yep. I mean, here's the thing. AOL is definitely not playing super perfect, and they're making mistakes, which for anyone watching is definitely good to sort of keep track of. And what was that? Keep track of and sort of watch and see what can happen. Sievert definitely got overconfident and was making a lot of silly plays. Blue Edit on the Akali, not useless, but not really doing too much, I would say.
Yeah, so bit of a rush through on this one. There's the hook, and not going to go too far. That's the tricky part. The one opportunity that ESG can have picks is very easy for AOL to avoid.
Yeah, I mean, they've gotten a Kali, they've got the Rakan.
They're about to have a dead Evelyn, so
Oh, that was good ult.
rough stuff for Imposture. Ignite will not kill him, but still all basically dead.
Yeah, I mean, now it's going to be a 4v5 if they take this
Oh
fight.
my god, that Cataclysm out of Sonic was incredible! And they will be mopping the floor one by one, until the ace basically comes down for AOL.
I mean, maybe it's just me, but Sivian definitely could have ulted there. And as soon as basically the jungler on ESG got picked, they should have just never even tried to fight. Like, they should not have been up that far, and this is just, yeah, this is getting a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, alright. The 10,000 plus gold lead has been acquired for AOL, and I mean, that right there really showed when AOL are not looking for the picks, they still have 100% the ability to team fight and absolutely slaughter ESG.
My apologies. So, yeah, I mean, it is definitely going to be really tough for ESG to come back into this one now. I mean, pretty much the only way is if they get a really good blitz hook over and over and over again. They get free picks.
They're gonna get Rakan this one, but they can't quite seal the deal. Sonic somehow gets taken out on the other side, but is that gonna be enough for ESG with Water Dragon wailing on them? Sivian flashes in, doesn't get the damage out that he needed to, and that might give them even more time, but Blue also following in the footsteps of Sonic gets caught out before Swain does go down, but trades one right back. ESG in the fight that they've been looking for all game. Can they close the deal on towards Pantheon? Yes, they can. And now Ooey Gooey, the last one up. Will not matter if they kill one up because ESG have finally won the fight.
But take a look at their base.
Unlucky.
Their base is getting demolished right now. Looks like Fridge might be able to get this.
Yep, there is the ace. Slams the hammer, and a Nexus turret will be at the cost of it. But, I mean, finally, ESG won a fight. Tell me how they did it.
I think part of it was that when the Pantheon went back in, he went into 3 members while the rest of his team was still getting there. So he kind of just had to run away. And Jarvan was in the backline and just got instantly killed by the Poppy and the Evelyn. So Vayne went down early in that fight, but then Swain was able just to sort of ult and just run them down, which is what I was talking about earlier. If they get to like late game, I mean, there's still the potential that they can lose a team fight, but Red Team doesn't have a single turret down. I'm not even sure they've done any turret damage. So even if they're winning these fights, they're not getting objectives, they're not getting gold, and they're never going to be able to do this unless they win like 4 or 5 team fights in a row.
Well, that might be asking a bit out of them, but that's certainly what they're going to have to do, because I agree with you. Turrets have not really been touched at all on the side of ESG.
I mean, they got some decent vision around Baron there, but they're just going to have to give it right back up with the pressure the minions are exerting mid lane. And, like, it's just unfortunate now because ESG is trying to be proactive, trying to play safe now, but it's too late.
Yeah, Sievert actually ulting for that top wave. Able to do so. The pick will come through. They're able to lock up one of the big members on AOL. 3 kills in a row for ESG. And it might even be more. Pantheon now in trouble. The Ignite thrown on top of them. Forced to flash over the wall and will be able to get away. But ESG, you talk how they have to win one. Well, they're going to win another one now. Evelyn versus Jin. Jin's going to come on top with that one.
Why? Why? I don't understand. You had a 1-team fight. Take it. Just take it and leave.
Oh, it's not done yet. Seaver looking for the 1v2 play here. There's going to be that kill. One shot, two shots, three shots going to come down the line. Seal the deal. Flying through. Pantheon with a double kill. Looking for a triple on the board here. Seaver about to be in range. Has the movement speed. Has the damage to do it. If Oren goes for the auto, might just kill him. There's the jump. He's over the wall just in the nick of time. And Vayne able to escape for now.
And they lost another turret for it.
Yeah.
This, like, they were doing so well. They were playing smart. They got a great pick. As soon as they saw Pantheon use his ult top.
Yeah, they'll look to seal the deal with him finally and shut him down.
Yeah, they saw the Pantheon top, and they made a really good play. They were smart about it. They got the pick. Then they got 3 people. Then they overstayed. And I don't, like... They were in such a good position. They won 2 team fights. Just back, defend, clear stuff, make sure they don't have pressure. That's the point. And maybe push down mid tower. You could maybe get that while those 3 are down. But instead, they go for another kill. The imposter tries to go on top of the Jhin without using the charm and without having ult. You're never going to kill him. And then you just see Pantheon sitting on the side, and he just goes for the 2v1, gets it fairly easily with the Jhin ult. And it just makes it, like, just back. Just please back. And just push down the waves. Their inhibitor is now up, but they've lost both their Nexus turrets, and it's just looking worse and worse for the red team. They get a glimmer of dawn, and then Sievert looms into view and cuts off that dawn view one more time.
That is exactly what has been happening, in fact. So, unfortunately for ESG, they have to worry about Sievert, and they can make good moments like that happen, but looming into view once again, Sievert ruins ESG's hopes of going anywhere other than down to the 3rd place match. Vayne pops final hour, but let's see how long you can go with that one. Cataclysm on top of him. There's the heal. There's the damage. Trying to kite back out of this one. The redemption to come through, but the 4th shot is going to seal the deal onto Vayne. Now Smile dealing damage in the backline. Fridge, the only surviving member of ESG GENSIS, and even then, he won't last that long. A clean ace to come through, minus Sonic Abs on the side of AOL, and that's going to be what nails them a spot into the grand finals against Conqueror Academy.
Yeah, that's GG well played by both teams. ESG made some pretty fatal mistakes, and unfortunately, AOL was definitely on their A game tonight and just really made use of those mistakes.
Yeah, 100%. ESG, they played well for the most part in Game 1. Game 2 comes around the corner, looming Pantheon, and upset their chances of season of ES3, unfortunately.
Yep. All right. Well, let's take a look at the stats before we get out of here.
Yes, indeed.
Wow, Pantheon!
Yes,
I didn't expect Pantheon to be doing that much damage even by the late game.
Almost a K per minute.
Yeah. So Pantheon put in the most damage in the game. Definitely the most damage on his team. Jhin was pretty close behind, and Swain was the next closest person, which makes sense. Swain got a lot of AoE damage, and he was doing pretty well, even while the rest of ESG wasn't. If we take a look at the Vision score, oh, that's a lot of wards. 12 control wards purchased by who was playing? Ooey Gooey. Yeah, so I mean that's a lot of wards. There's a lot of vision score for the sports. Swain had a vision score of 11. That's interesting. Only placed 10 wards, but still had 4 control wards. That's pretty good. Evelyn had 7 control wards, was pretty good. Everybody had at least 1, which is good.
Yeah, which is solid and frankly expected at this level of the game. But nonetheless, Iowa Phoenix moving on to face Conqueror Academy in the grand finals, while ESG GENSIS will be taking on the defeated Aether eSports in the 3rd place match. I'm very confident I know what you're going to be saying for Conqueror AOL. However, let's gear towards ESG Aether. You've observed firsthand both of these teams lose their series. Which one do you think will be coming out on top and in third place, respectively?
If ESG play like that, and Stojan is jungling for Aether, then I think Aether will have a pretty quick cleanup. I think that Aether's, I would say, on level with AOL. I think that's pretty close. Definitely with a decent jungler, Sobrake support, Hero Termina in the bot lane. And ESG, I mean, there's no one on that team that makes me go, yeah, I want to see that person play. There's no one that is consistently doing well. They're all making really silly mistakes. And if they want to win the third place, then they really need to work on that in the next few days. They really need to sort of bunker down and just talk to each other, watch the games, be like, okay, this was so stupid. Why did we do this? We were starting to come back. We threw. Why did we do that? And stuff like that. I think it's really important for them to try and figure that out.
Very, very fair analysis of that matchup. Nonetheless, that is the end of ESG's chances and the end of tonight as well.
Well, so, Shuno, I want to hear what you have to think about Conqueror versus AOL, since you will be the unbiased one here.
Okay, well, fair enough.
What do you think? We got 4 days left, or 3 days left, rather. Do you think anything interesting will happen?
Well, first off, AOL had better secure their starting roster, because I feel without that, it's going to be a little rough. Conqueror have looked great all season long, so have AOL, and we're really looking at Baron versus Elder, the number one seeds out of both of the divisions. I'm just hoping I think it'll be close, and I hope it's not a 3-0 for either side. Every single finals we've had historically in eSports has been a 3-0. Season 1,
wow.
NBD versus GG, 3-0 NBD. Season 2, NN versus DTS, 3-0 on the side of Naughty Nips. I do think that we're going at least to a series of 4 games. Who's going to come on top? Let's go with AOL. I think, yeah, I know. I have the Conqueror player right in front of me, but I feel that AOL Phoenix have exhibited, while not in the playoffs, unfortunately, I think they've exhibited better of a showing all season long as to where Conqueror have shown that they can bleed. And, well, yeah.
No, yeah, I agree with what you're saying. And I really look forward to the match. And you know what? If we're up 2-0, I'll throw 1 game just for you.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Gimpy. Nonetheless, thank you everyone else for tuning in and watching our semifinal matchup. The grand finals will be right around the corner, as will the third place match. Joining me was my awesome color caster,
Gimpy the first. Have a good night, guys.